Hey guys, Multiclassic Gamer here, and I ran into a dilemma. What's my dilemma? Episode 28 of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption Blind. Take a look. Just whatever. Oh god, that was the perfect moment right there. The perfect moment. That was absolutely perfect right there. I went straight into that. You guys are probably yelling at your screens, no man, don't do it! But no, just watch me suffer. Suffer the darn consequences. In a perfect world, this episode would be publishing right now, but I am instead forced to make this update video for you guys to explain what you guys just saw. Basically, every single time I record a Let's Play episode, I end up with a clip of raw video game footage and audio clip of my commentary. I use Pinnacle Studio 20 Plus to sync those two files together, as well as edit out any cuts I need to make in the video. After all is said and done, I export the video and most of the time keep an eye on the export and watch the video afterwards to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. If there is, I go back and make the necessary edits with the same raw footage and commentary files. Once an LP episode is done and uploaded onto YouTube, I delete the raw gameplay footage since the size of these video files tend to add up quickly, but I keep the commentary file for keepsake purposes since audio files tend to be much smaller than video files. In fact, I still have my original commentary files for Let's Plays dating back to 2011. Anyway, my point is that I made the mistake of not looking at episode 28 before deleting the original gameplay footage from that episode permanently, and Pinnacle Studio 20 Plus has a bug where it will occasionally export a video stuck on the first frame of a random cut in the video. It did this a couple times when I was LPing Paper Mario and Super Mario Galaxy. One such case is causing me to have to play all the way back up to a certain point in Paper Mario, and let me give you a hint, it is much late in the game, which is very, very irritating. And it's all that just to record an entire montage all over again. However, in the case of episode 28 of Prime 3, the first frame of the entire video qualifies as a cut, and there were absolutely no cuts in the entire episode, so when Pinnacle Studio 20's bug occurred this time, there were no other cuts in the whole video for the bug to stop itself, so this bug lasts the entire video, and the video is 25 minutes long, I might add, and I have no way of recovering the original gameplay footage. That means that my blind reactions in this episode are also ruined, sort of, but we'll get into that in a moment. In fact, that's where there's a silver line to all this. As you guys know, I'm currently backtracking on Planet Brio and not actually progressing the story, so we didn't lose any story-based reactions, thankfully, and beyond that, not a lot of important stuff happened in this episode, except for 2 lore entries. Hell, it's possible I didn't even explore any new rooms in that episode. The vast majority of it was derping around Brio, not even heading into the direction the game requests me to go at the end of episode 27 until about 12 minutes or so in. Even then, I spend the whole time in Brio Fire exploring the refinery access room and end the episode with a failed attempt at the missile expansion in the Imperial Hall. Now, the 2 Brio lore entries that I read in the episode were Struggle of Exiles and Decline. Honestly, this is probably the best episode of the whole LP to suffer this fate. Either way, episode 28 has become the second lost episode of my channel, the first one being episode 11 of SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, which took me 2 years to actually get around to recording after the LP was over. So I have 2 options to offer you guys, and I'd like to see your suggestions in the comments. Option number 1 is to completely ignore this episode and pretend it didn't happen. I could even renumber all the episodes that follow today. The advantage of this is that we don't actually miss out on much since I didn't really have any blind story critical reactions or anything aside from the 2 lore entries, but that's up to you guys if that's a problem or not. The problem with doing this is that future viewers of this LP would probably be wondering why I'm suddenly in the Imperial Hall at the beginning of the supposed episode 28 that is actually episode 29 instead of the Hidden Court as I was at the end of episode 27. The other option is for me to keep the numbers of the episodes that fall and eventually re-record episode 28 and use the original commentary when I'm reading the 2 lore entries. I don't know what I'll do for the rest of the episode since it won't be blind when I do re-record it, but I'll think of something. The downside to this option is that it will take a while and likely episode 28 will not be out until by the time the LP actually ends. I'm leaving this up to you guys. In the meantime, I hope you all look forward to episode 29 and what comes after that. I'm sorry this happened, everyone. It was mostly my fault, but also a little Pinnacle Studio blessing that made this possible. And I will take extra measures to prevent to make sure this doesn't happen again. So anyways, I guess you guys could say that this episode's been corrupted.